toward us. And so we are grateful to God for the privilege to stand before you this day, never taking this calling for granted, because it is something that he has commissioned we to do who serve in this capacity, and that is to preach. And so we always thank God because we're humbled by it. And I was listening to one of my fellow colleagues said yesterday in the study back there, talking about he's still nervous, and I never try to portray that I'm not. Yes, it's just a respect towards what we have been called to do. And then when you feel that you got it, this art of preaching is something that you have to certainly keep praying and keep studying and trusting the Holy Spirit to help you to be able to accomplish it. So we have to give him that credit and certainly that respect. So at this time, let us bow down and we thank you certainly for letting us be able to stand before your people. We pray that you will give us the power that we seek from thee, that we can be able to accomplish your purpose. Lord, we pray that this word that now goes forth, that it will be a blessing to every ear that is here today, that it will help us, oh Lord, on this journey. And if there's any among us who don't know Christ, we pray that this same word will convince them. God, we thank you, we praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. Today we would like to draw your attention to the book of Matthew, chapter 26, and we want to look at verse 41. Amen. Matthew, the 26th chapter, and verse 41. All right, if you have it, let us read together. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Amen. And today, by way of the subject, we'd like to talk to you from this thought, praying in advance. Amen. Praying in advance. And I think many of us have heard that song, praise him in advance, but what about praying in advance? My brothers and sisters, we have note that prayer has been our means of staying in fellowship with God. It has been the method in which we have been taught to communicate also with God. And it shouldn't come as no surprise that the instruction that is given by Jesus in this text is what I feel a preemptive way to pray. It ought to be our desire to pray before problems arise in our lives. And usually our habit is that we wait until, amen, the problem happens or comes to then pray. And the reason I feel we ought to want to pray in advance, we don't want to be caught off guard.
That's right.
Or as they said, taken by surprise. So somebody say pray in advance.
Pray in advance.
Because it's needful that we do. Because a consistent prayer life ensures you to always be on the alert. Because we all heard it said, and I know this is one saying that I think never grows old in the church. Much prayer, much power. Little prayer, little power. No prayer, no power. So when we fail to pray, it says that we have no time for God. And you think about that if you will, because prayer is one of the means in which we stay in contact with God. So think about if you don't pray. You have really no communication or no time that you share with God. And this is why if we look at it, why some saints, and they might be not understanding why they are so easily defeated and so easily caught off guard. Because they didn't realize that God is our help, and no matter what we think, we need the Lord. Because I will say this, that those of us who fail to pray, we fail to understand and know God. And if you really want to know God, you got to spend some time in prayer with God. Do we not realize that what strengthens our fellowship, our relationship with God, is how much we pray to God? Amen. Because prayer is just like talking. And that's simply what it is. It's like us having a conversation with God, our Father. But in this text, we witness Jesus. And this is Jesus who is now in what is called the Garden of Gethsemane. And Jesus goes here to pray. He was there because the scripture would declare his soul had become overwhelmed with sorrow. And he was there to pray to his Father, to hoping that his Father would give him some relief. And I wonder, do anybody here ever find themselves having a talk with God? When you were burdened and when you were overwhelmed and you seek God to ease the burden, to relieve the relief or the pain. And so Jesus did not go to the garden alone. Look at it closely, because he took what some would consider his favorite 3 disciples. Now, the text will let you know that all of the 11 went. But it was these 3 that went a little farther with Jesus in the garden. And that was Peter, James, and John. And he tells them, wait here and watch him. And therefore, as Jesus goes a little further into the garden to pray to his Father, he returns and he finds these disciples asleep. Amen. And brothers and sisters, there's something when you fall asleep. I don't think we understand. We miss things when we fall asleep. I know some like to boast and say that I can sleep and I can still hear, but there's still something that you're going to miss. Because you ain't going to hear everything. And so these disciples who he trusted to watch and pray, they suddenly get drowsy and fall asleep. And y'all know that goes on, don't you? Amen. You might need to touch the person beside you and tell them to wake up. Because guess what? That sleeping, if you want to say habit, has still continued to this day. And so Jesus returns, and the first one he addresses, he says, Peter, amen, who he says, what? Could you not have watched with me 1 hour? And that didn't seem like that was asking much, did it? But if you knew the time of the text, that this was late. They had just finished the supper. Amen. And now Jesus had gathered the 11 and said, let's go to the garden, because I got to go there and have a talk to my Father. And we're not actually told how late the hour was, but it had to be a time when most of us can feel the effects of sleep creeping up on us. Amen. Now, if I could say this, I don't think some of us need no late time in order for sleep to creep up. Now listen, let us get a little bored. Let things get a little dry and things not moving as quickly to keep us awake. You find yourself nodding. Amen. But remember, the Lord encouraged them to what? Watch with him. And watch, according to this text, meant that they were to stay awake. And not only stay awake, but pay attention. And so Jesus proceeds to tell them this. Time watch and pray. Right there in the text, he says quickly at verse 41, watch and pray. Because he wanted them to do this so that they would understand the need to pray in advance. Because nothing had happened yet, and watching and praying would help them to be prepared. Because we too ought to see the need to pray in our calm. Y'all hear me? Pray when things are peaceful. Pray when there are no present threats. Pray when no bills are due. When no cutoff notices have come in the mail. You need to do some praying in advance. Because hear me today, quit waiting till the storm rises or the winds blow to learn to watch and pray. Because prayer ought to be offensive. Because it's good we want to pray in the aftermath, but what about praying in advance? Amen. Because nothing's wrong with you praying, believing, and saying that, Lord, I want you to have me ready for such and such time. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. And so Jesus had prayed once already in advance for what he was about to face. And if you know what was about to happen, Judas was quickly coming. And Judas wasn't coming alone. And Judas, in fact, had a band of soldiers who were about to come and arrest Jesus and take him away. But I know you know the story that Judas would do this. He would betray the Lord with a kiss. And so Jesus was ready in himself. Jesus shows to us that there's nothing wrong with praying ahead, praying in advance, because he prayed to the Father concerning his will. And I like this, that Jesus was still in teacher mode. Because when this happens, the Lord uses the disciples sleeping to help them realize that, first of all, praying in advance prepares you. Amen. Anybody understand that when I learn to pray beforehand, it's getting me ready for something. And I don't need to know what it is, but if I stay in tune and in prayer with God, it prepares me for the unknown. And if I'm talking to somebody today, there's a lot of unknown in all of our lives. And let me help you right now. Before this day is over, you may encounter some unknown. Something you didn't expect to arise. And if you ain't careful, it's going to slip up on you. If you didn't do some praying beforehand. And that's why Jesus says to these disciples, watch and pray. I want you, brethren, to start praying in advance to be prepared. Because listen, the enemy is already getting ready. But will we be ready when the enemy makes his attack? Will we be ready to face these difficulties that we didn't plan or that we didn't expect? Because all of us in here got some things that ain't been scheduled by us. In fact, some of us got daily planners, and on our daily planners, we got specific things that are going to happen at 2 o'clock, that's going to happen at 4 o'clock. But I got news to let you know there's some things that's going to happen that you did not expect. So why not pray in advance to prepare yourself? Because you're talking to someone who's already able, amen, to help you when the unexpected arrives. And so Jesus teaches them that it's preparation. But secondly, praying in advance prevents. It's right in the text. He says, watch and pray that ye enter what? Not into temptation. And I don't know how many of us in here understand that temptation is a bad thing. This ain't no testing according to this text. This is about evil. This is about the devil trying to attack you. Trying to, listen, get areas in your life where he know you may what? Be having problems. And Jesus warned them by saying, if y'all pray in advance, you won't find yourself falling into temptation. Because one of the things I love about the model prayer is there's a little section in there that says that lead us not into temptation. Everybody here know that in that prayer? Our Father prayer. It says, lead us not. That's a prayer that's being prayed because you're praying in advance that the Lord will prevent you from falling what? To the attacks of the enemy. And somebody don't know that the enemy has some attacks that he's planning for my life, planning for your life. But when I pray in advance, thank you, Lord, that you can prevent that from taking me out. Because I have understood that my time I spend with you has got me ready, has got me close. Listen, has built up my confidence and knowing that my God will not let me down. And anybody here know today that God won't let you down. So I see why Jesus is telling Peter, James, and John that y'all brother watch and pray. But listen, this is a delicate time for you because guess what? The enemy is going to use this to try to undo what I have done for you. And anybody know that when I pray to God, that God can give some prevention in my life. I dare you to pray to him and constantly have time in prayer with God. Listen, praying that he will build you up. Praying that he will keep the enemy at bay. Praying that whatever attacks he has for me, that I'm able to stand against his advancement. So I'm glad that Jesus said praying in advance provision. But lastly, praying in advance protection. Thank God for some protection. I don't know about you, but it's good to know when I have a talk with God, when I pray in advance, that God knows how to set me up to be under his shadow. Amen. And I don't know if you know that there's protection under his shadow. Amen. Because there's something about when you have a talk with the Lord. The Lord, he knows how to keep you from any harm or danger. Because all of us in here could witness today that we all been kept. Amen. From the hand of the enemy. There's some of us who have been on our way here and there. Amen. Got delayed for some unknown reason. But when you learn that when the delay was over, that an accident took place, that God protected you from. And only because you learned the value in praying in advance. Can I help somebody? Because this early this morning, a part of your prayer should just been, thank you, Lord. Amen. For waking me up this morning. But in that prayer, there should have been asking God to see about my day. To keep me from danger here and there. And that's why I say that this last thing the Master reveals to the brethren is that praying in advance will bring some protection. And I don't know about you, all of us can stand to have his protection. Because there's a lot of evil in our world. There's a lot of evil around us, evil in our homes. But all it needs to do is just have a talk with the Lord. And God knows how to take care of you. I believe there's a witness today that's been in danger. But because of the hand of God, his hand protected you. But can I talk to a saint who's been in a car accident, thought your life was gone, but God took care of you, let you walk away with no harm or danger. So I'm here to tell somebody, we need to learn how to pray in advance. Listen, don't take God for granted, feeling that I don't need to have time with him. But every child of God, I'd love talking to their father. I'd love telling their father, I need you to take care of my life. I realize I don't have the power, nor do I have the means to take care of me. But I believe if you take care of me, I have preparation, I have prevention, I have protection, because I learned to talk to God, not taking him for granted, but realizing he's a God that can do what he says. And I wonder wonder in the house, as I hurry on to my clothes, is there anybody here convinced right now there's nothing wrong with praying in advance, praying with some expectancy, praying believing that God can do it, because I know who He is. I tried Him for myself. I found out He won't let me down, but He'll always be there. One of the reasons I feel we ought to pray in advance is because of the promises, hallelujah, of God. Anybody here know about His promise? He has said, I won't leave you, nor will I forsake you. He has said, I will provide all that you need. Anybody here know without a doubt, if I got a God who is just like that, I can pray, believing in my heart that whatever it is, if I present it right now, that when I get there, God has already fixed it for me. Anybody here, hear me right now, no, there's no harm in praying in advance. Praying in advance proves this one thing. You got some expectancy that you want to get from God, that you believe that God will come through. Anybody here know today that God will, He will come through. He's not a man that He should lie. In fact, what He says, He'll make it good. Won't He do it? Somebody around here already is right. You're already praying as though God is already done it. That's what praying in advance is. You've been praying in expectancy for a job that you believe that God's going to come through. And I know for a fact that if you got that faith, God will, He will come through. In fact, has He come through for anybody here today? Somebody today has tried Him for yourself. You found out that God will make the way. Won't He do it? Somehow, some way, God can do anything. Make it all right. I'm happy right now. Knowing that because I prayed, not knowing what was coming, but I trusted in the Lord, believing that He will come through. Yeah, He has to come through for us. I'm glad that when Jesus talked to Peter, James and John, He said, watch and pray, because if you don't do it, temptation will sneak upon you. But if you do it, you will realize this. You're ready for it. You prepared for it. You're suited up for it. Well, let me talk about it. You're going to put on the whole armor, and you're going to stand against the wiles of the devil. You can stand and withstand because you know what you got on. You got power. You got an anointing that's rested on you. I got to let you know no weapon formed against you can prosper. It won't work. Hallelujah. Can I say it again? It won't work. I don't care how business act. It won't work. I don't care what it's supposed to do. It won't work. I got a witness. Yeah. Yeah. So I am convinced right now. I'm going to keep on praying in advance. I'm going to keep on praying. Knowing that whatever God challenge you to start doing some praying in advance. Listen, so you can be covered. That when the difficult times come, they ain't gonna shock you. They ain't gonna catch you off guard. You gonna believe that I can handle it. Because I got somebody on my side. And listen, when God is for you, who can be against you? When God fights for you, ain't nobody win. When God put his hands on you, ain't nobody touch you. When God got his hands on you, ain't no sickness kill you. When God got his hands on you, the enemy got to move. The enemy got to resist. Because they belong to God. Everybody here know that you belong to God. Everybody here know that you are his. And he's yours. Hallelujah. I'm just glad that I know him. Don't let me be selfish. Anybody here know him? Try him. I've been able. Yeah. He's able. To know that he is. So I encourage you, my friends, let's do some praying in advance. Listen, don't wait till the battle comes. Pray right now. Don't wait till the problems come. Pray right now. Because I tell you, there's a difference in when you pray in advance and you pray in the aftermath. To me, the aftermath is just trying to catch up. Trying to get God to undo what's been done. But when you pray in advance, God will do something with you to have you ready for that. I'm a witness to that. Spend some time with God. Amen. In fact, make it a habit that you can't break. That, Lord, I need to talk with you to make sure everything's going to be all right. Listen, I'm going on this journey, and I don't know what's going to face me or confront me, but if I talk to you now, I'll be ready for the journey. I'm a witness to that. And when you start to acknowledge God before anything, God will let it all work for your good. It's just like Solomon said, he'll direct you in all your paths. So my brothers and sisters, let's think about this. Let's pray in advance. I got it later. And all he wants us to do is trust him. Are you going to keep trusting? Are you going to keep believing? Because there is no failure in our God. Amen. And I'm a witness that he won't fail you. Every time I think, amen, that failure is coming, God will let me know, no, I won't fail you. Amen. God bless you, saints. And heaven smile on you is our prayer. We're going to extend the invitation to discipleship. We never know who might be here today.